So what do people really think about your events? The textbook way is to send out NPS surveys, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that and build an awesome dashboard on your event records in HubSpot that look just like this, showing you your detractors, your passives, your promoters, your event NPS score, and being able to see the breakdown as well. Now, NPS really revolves around one question. How likely are you to recommend this event to your friend? We're going to build out that property and a few more on the registrant object. So let's jump into our properties. And first, you want to add your likely to recommend as a dropdown. I like to do my dropdowns for NPS like this, where I have 1 very unlikely all the way to 10 very likely, just so it's easy when people select an option to know which side of the spectrum they're on. I also added a couple other properties like event satisfaction and something for general feedback. Now, these don't go into the NPS score, but in my form, which looks a little something like this, I like to have a few extra questions just to get a little bit more feedback that I don't need to do, like their favorite session or anything general. Remember that these forms are using registrant-based properties. With Hapily, we leverage the registrant object as an instance of a contact going to an event. So you can have unique survey links for every time someone goes, and we're not overriding the contact. Check out the video in the description that shows the exact way to send post-event surveys and use the workflow to set this property for a unique value and automatically send them out to everyone that attended an event. Moving on with our registrant-based properties, we also have a registrant property called NPS result that's going to store their actual detractor, promoter, or passive. We have that set as well as a dropdown, and we're going to set this via a workflow based upon what they say in the likely to recommend question. Let's check out that workflow. We have this registrant-based workflow that only people that have the status of attended get to run through, meaning like they can't somehow take the survey and they didn't even attend the event. Now, if you accidentally send it to everybody, so this prevents that from happening. But all we're doing is doing a simple branch. That branch is based upon their response. If it's 10 or 9, they're a promoter. If they're at the way bottom, they're a detractor, and passive is 7 to 8. So this will now set that drop-down property, and we're going to use that drop-down property to bring those folks on the event record. Now, how do we bring that data onto the event? Well, we're going to have some roll-up properties that we can see that will be our passives, our promoters, and our detractors. This is just going to look at the associated object. If they have the NPS result passive, it's going to roll up that quantity onto the event. Same with detractors and passives. Now, another thing you'll need on the event is the total NPS responses, because this is used in the calculation for the NPS score. So all we're doing is adding up our passive, our detractors, and our promoters, so we can get this total number. So it's a calculated field inside HubSpot. And then we can finally create that event NPS score. You can use this calculation based upon the promoters, the total NPS responses minus the detractors divided by the total NPS responses. We got the round nearest formula, and we're multiplying it times 100 to get it looking good. Now, this is the calculation that you will use to actually get your NPS score. Looking at the event record, all you need to add is a highlight card that will pull each of these properties, the detractors, the passives, and it'll display it easily so you can kind of get a glance at this. For a cool report, you can actually build a single object report. So let's jump into reports and see how I built this NPS results report. All you're going to do is make sure that you're looking at date range all time. This always trips people up, that they forget to use the entire timeline of this, but this is a registrant-based report that just looks at the value of the NPS result. Once you have this single object report, you can pull it right into a middle panel card. Pretty straightforward. You just select that and then make sure you're leveraging and filtering the report by associations. So it's only going to be the registrants associated to the event that will show their NPS score. So once you build this once, you get to use it for every event because it'll always have the NPS for those particular events. So now at a glance, you could see at every event how you're doing. You can also build out a report that has the total event NPS over time, over all of your events, and you get the visibility to know how they really feel about you. And again, that is how you event happily.